everyone. This is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer, Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here to do your weekly angel card reading for Monday, September 5th through Sunday, September 11th, 2016. So we all made it through the new moon solar eclipse that we had last week on Thursday, September 1st, and now we've initiated some new beginnings, some powerful new beginnings with this eclipse. Now we move into the week in between before we have our full moon lunar eclipse, which is going to be next week, September 16th. So again, this whole month of September is very powerful, and we're going to see what messages we have to continue in that evolution and growth and all of those redirection energies that we have going on. But first we're going to take a look at our stones of choice for the special message card. For the main message, we're going to be using Doreen Virtue's Angel Tarot deck. And the special message card this week is going to come from the Life Purpose Oracle cards, which is also by Doreen Virtue. I figured a lot of us are wondering about our life purpose, our life direction, you know, what we should be doing, what decisions we should be making. So we're going to see if the Life Purpose Angel Oracle deck can give us some of those answers. Now, your stones of choice for that special message card. The first stone of choice is a clear quartz sphere. Now, I did choose clear quartz for all of these special stones of choice, but they're in different shapes, and therefore those shapes have different meanings. Now, with the clear quartz crystal in general, so again, this is for all three choices of stones, this is going to amplify the energy of whatever your intention is. And I know a lot of you have some specific intentions as far as what direction you want your life to go in. Now, the sphere is obviously a round sphere, and because of this shape, because of it being in a circle or a sphere kind of shape, this is going to take your intentions and very softly and gently, it's going to go out in all different directions of time and space. So you can see that there's no points on the sphere. It's not a real direct and harsh kind of energy, like that masculine energy of being really direct. This is more of a soft, feminine, kind of nurturing energy. And again, it's going to take whatever your intentions are, and it's going to very softly and gently just kind of emanate out from all directions with this. Now, your second stone of choice, again, another clear quartz crystal, but this is in a pyramid shape. And you can see, obviously, that with the pyramid shape, we have a very direct point on the top here. And then, of course, with the pyramid, it kind of emanates down in different directions here. And this is going to be for a much more masculine focused energy of your intention. And you can imagine that the light of God's source energy is coming down through the top point of this crystal pyramid. So again, there's more of a focused energy about this, but then it emanates it out in different directions to help to manifest and ground whatever your intention is into physical reality. Okay, your last stone of choice is a clear quartz crystal cluster. You can see if I turn it kind of on its side that this has a lot of little different points here to it. And the clear quartz cluster, again, taking whatever your intention is. Now, maybe your intention does have to do with your spiritual life purpose in some way, as far as, you know, what you're here to do. And this would be a group energy. Whenever we have a cluster, you know, and clusters come in amethyst crystals, citrine crystals, and again, this with a clear quartz crystal is going to amplify your intention as far as working with other people, working with other organizations, working with groups of like-minded souls and individuals. And we could also say coming together with your soul family, finding those people as far as friendships, and maybe even, you know, on a romantic level, definitely a business level, coming into contact with other people, your soul family, that's going to help with your life direction and your life purpose. Okay, so again, these stones of choice for you this week is the sphere, the pyramid, or the cluster. All right, so let's take a little bit of a look here at the astrology for the week. Now, just because we are in between the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse doesn't mean it's going to be any less powerful this week. There's A lot going on. And we're going to start out with Tuesday and Wednesday on the 6th and 7th of September, depending on where you are in the world. This is happening very early Eastern Daylight Time here in the United States on Wednesday. So very early in the morning hours on Wednesday. So again, this could be, we're going to be feeling this definitely on Tuesday for some of us. But this is the Sun in Virgo, and it's in a very positive connection with Pluto. Now, Pluto is a planet of power. It's a planet of transformation. It's a planet of regeneration, death and rebirth. And that Sun in Virgo is an energy of using discernment and taking small steps and paying attention to the details. And the Sun is our identity too. You know, it's how we identify ourselves. It's our personality. So this is a very powerful and positive energy because they're connected by trine, which is a positive aspect. The Sun trine Pluto is going to help to bring in our sense of power. And what I feel here with the Sun in Virgo is that it's very important to focus on your positive thoughts and a positive mindset. Because Virgo is that sign of the mental realm. Virgo deals with our thought processes and our mental attitude. And we don't want to empower with Pluto, we don't want to empower any of the self-critical or nitpicky kind of perfectionistic energies of Virgo, but we want to empower the positive energies of discernment and the positive energies of taking action on the next steps to take to empower ourselves in our path. We want to focus on empowering our sense of identity as far as knowing that we're already perfect, and we just have to align our thoughts with the idea that we're already perfect, which is another indication of Virgo. Now on Thursday and going into Friday, the moon is in Sagittarius, and I don't always talk about the moon and what sign it's in. For those of you that watch these videos, you know that, and watch my daily Facebook posts for some of that information. But I'm mentioning this because the moon in Sagittarius is connecting with a lot of planets Thursday and Friday. First, it's coming into a connection with Saturn in Sagittarius, then it's going to be challenging Neptune in Pisces, and then as we move into Friday, it's going to be challenging the Sun in Virgo. And then it's going to be coming into a connection with Mars in Sagittarius, which is right there with Saturn. And then it's going to challenge Mercury, which is now retrograde in the sign of Virgo. And the reason why this moon in Sagittarius, traveling through that sign and connecting with all these different planets, is because if we skip ahead a couple of days for this week and we go to Saturday the 10th, Saturn is coming into a direct connection squaring Neptune. Now, I've been talking about this for a while now. Saturn square Neptune, we've had on and off, an ebb and flow kind of energy, all the way back, if we think back to November of 2015. So it was exact back then, last fall. We had another exact connection in the earlier months this year, and now this is the third and final exact connection between Saturn and Neptune. And Saturn is about old third-dimensional reality. It's about the patriarchal system. It's about third-dimensional, old energies and ways of thinking or being. It's definitely, Saturn rules karma, but it also rules the old way of doing things or the old way of believing, especially with it being in Sagittarius. This is old belief system stuff. And with it squaring Neptune on and off this whole year, we've been feeling this, what's reality and what's illusion? You know, is this real? Or I thought this was what was happening, or I thought this was the direction I was going, or I thought this was the relationship that was meant for me. And then all of a sudden Neptune said, no, it's not. It's kind of an illusion there. There's something that's just not quite right. Or, it's about the spiritual essence of Neptune, kind of in that challenging mode to Saturn reality. Now, that's why going back to Thursday and Friday with the moon in Sagittarius, it's setting off that Saturn-Neptune square, which is exact this week. So it's really going to be powerful, bringing in some of the energies as it's setting off all those planets. And then in between on Friday, we also have Jupiter, the planet of expansion and growth, the planet of blessings, the planet that makes things bigger. Whatever Jupiter touches, it kind of expands and makes that energy bigger. And Jupiter's finally moving out of Virgo and it's moving into the sign of Libra. And I think we're all going to like that a lot better. Nothing against that Virgo energy, but we all know that every sign of the zodiac has both more positive outlook or positive keywords associated with it, and then what I like to call not so positive keywords or associations with it. And Virgo was a little difficult because Virgo rules that mental energy, our thoughts, how we communicate both within ourselves as well as outwardly to the world or with other people. And that's a huge part of our reality here on this third dimension, is the mental body and how we think and how we believe. And so when Jupiter was in Virgo for the whole last year, it was expanding both the positive and the not so positive qualities of Virgo depending on where we put our mindset. And it's really hard for us sometimes as human beings in the third dimension to focus always on the positive, or have that kind of faith and trust knowing that everything's going to be okay and that we're protected and divinely guided. So we oftentimes go into this energy of doubt or fear or anxiety, which is that lower energy of Virgo and the mental body. So now that Jupiter's moving out of Virgo and moving into Libra, Libra is all about, yes, relationships and partnerships. So it's going to allow us to focus more on our belief systems regarding relationships and partnerships. But Libra is also about justice and balance and harmony. And we can now expand those energies of balance, justice, and harmony in our lives, in different areas of our lives. So what's the not so positive of Libra? Sometimes Libra is very indecisive, and sometimes it can be really codependent when it comes on relationships. So it could expand some of the codependency aspects of Libra, and it can expand some of that indecisiveness and vacillating back and forth with our energies, like Libra sometimes likes to do. Now, Jupiter's going to be in Libra for the next year. So approximately a year is the time period that Jupiter spends in each sign. So this is just going into Libra, and when a planet first goes into a sign or is just leaving a sign is when it's the most powerful. So we're really going to feel this shift as Jupiter goes into Libra on the 9th. And another thing that my angels and guides are reminding me is that the 9th, which is when Jupiter goes into Libra, and which is when the moon in Sagittarius is setting off all these different planets connected with Saturn and Neptune, the Saturn-Neptune square. Well, the 9th, in the 9th month of September, in a universal 9 year of 2016. So this day is 999, which is very, very, very powerful as far as this releasing and letting go and purging aspect, because that's what the 9 is all about. Okay, let's skip ahead and look at Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, the 10th and 11th. Venus is squaring Pluto. Now again, this depends on what part of the world you're in as far as when it's really going to take place. It happens here in the United States, Eastern Time at 3:45 a.m. on Sunday. So we're going to be definitely feeling this on Saturday as well. Venus is in Libra now, which is a planet about relationships and love, and it's in a sign that deals with partnerships as well. And it's in a challenging aspect to Pluto, again, this planet that brings about death and rebirth and transformation. So I really think that if we go back last week to where that solar eclipse happened, and the energies, and that solar eclipse, by the way, it was a little challenging with the aspects it had to Saturn and Neptune as well, and to the North and South Node as well. So here we're continuing the theme of this movement into new beginnings, but we're still needing to release and let go of old dynamics or old belief systems or old karmic patterns. And maybe old relationships or situations and circumstances that no longer serve our best and highest interest. So a lot of transformation still taking place this week. And again, as we move into next week, we're going to have that full moon lunar eclipse coming up. So let's take a look at the first card for the week and see what the message is from our angels and guides. Okay, not surprised to see this card. It seems like we had this recently. This is the Eight of Water. And the Eight of Water says a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful, spiritual and emotional growth. I'll let you see the words there at the bottom of this card. And so this card, when we have water, this is about the emotional realm. This is about our feelings and emotions. It's about our intuitions, and it's about the psychic energy as well. The number 8 in numerology is a very empowering or conversely a disempowering kind of energy. And here, with the message from this card, and because we're dealing with the emotional realm, this is where we're feeling disempowered. There's aspects of our life, there's maybe, again, situations, perhaps relationships, but probably definitely belief systems and thought processes that we're holding on to that are disempowering us. And this card is saying that as we move into this week, we're ready to let those go. We want to move on to something more spiritual, where we feel more emotionally connected, where we feel more emotionally balanced, where we feel more emotionally happy and joyous about our circumstances. And how can we get to those things that empower us? How can we get to those things that bring us joy? By letting go of things that do not bring us joy, by letting go of those disempowering thoughts and belief systems, and then, of course, those disempowering situations or circumstances. So this is a clear message that we're ready to move on. At least our higher soul self is ready to move on. Now we have to get the personality up to speed and getting ready to release and let go of some things, some energies, so that we can move towards something where, again, we're more content and more at peace and more happy in life. Let's take a look at the next card to get more information. Okay, we have the Page of Air, and the message at the top says logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. The message at the bottom, challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. Okay, so the Page of Air, this is the mental realm. The air cards are swords in the traditional tarot deck. And again, it's about communication, thoughts, all things that reside in the mental plane. And the Page with the court cards, we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen, the King. The Page is a very young, kind of immature kind of energy. It can be childlike. And what do children don't censor what they say. If you think about a child, children usually don't censor what they say. They say it like it is. They say it like they see it or feel it. And this is kind of the information that's coming through with this card, is that you might have communications with other people this week because of perhaps, again, going over to the Eight of Water, being disempowered in your life. You might have some very open, honest discussions with people to where maybe you're not censoring what you're saying very much, that you're just being very forthright, you're being very upfront, you're saying it like it is. And conversely, other people might be having those conversations with you as well. But that kind of information, if we hold on to it too long and we don't practice good, open, honest communication exchange with other people along the way, things build up. Issues or challenges in our lives build up. And again, because of all the eclipse energy going on, this is really a time of, again, endings, new beginnings, death and rebirth, releasing the old so that we can move into a new and better way. So some of these communications are going to be sharp. And I also feel like there's perhaps some messages coming in from your angels and guides that are very direct, not harsh, not negative, just being very forthright. Just like a person can be very open and honest with you, I think your angels and guides are saying, hey, listen to me. I kind of gave you this message before, and I don't mind giving it to you again, but let's look at this. Let's look at this pattern, and let's, really try to change it. Okay, and the other thing that came to mind when I was looking at this was it says delays or changes to plans. Now, this is Mercury retrograde this month. Mercury retrograde is bringing in delays and changes to plans because there's still more information that we need. And so it's best to kind of wait out the Mercury retrograde period if you can to make certain life-changing decisions. Now, we can't always do that, and that's okay. You have to do, what you have to do in the moment as you're guided to. But just know that there might be some situations to where there's a delay that's taking place before something can move forward. All right, and then let's look at the last card for the week. Okay, I'm glad to see a major arcana here. This is major arcana number 7, the Chariot, with Archangel Metatron. It says at the bottom, an important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Now, whenever I see this card, if you see it here, I'm going to get my finger out of the way here. We have Archangel Metatron here, and he's in a chariot. And he's moving forward here with 2 horses that are taking his chariot forward. They're actually flying through the air. But he's got a dark horse and a white horse here. And this is indicative of a couple different things. First, I want to say there's maybe 2 different paths we can go down. And there's no right or wrong necessarily, and no judgments as to what direction you take. But there could be potentially 2 different paths here. And the reason why is the other thing that came to mind is that, remember, we have Saturn squaring Neptune this week. And Saturn is the old way, the old energy. And Neptune, I won't say is the new way, but the more spiritual kind of way, or it's like being led by universal energies, or being led by your angels and guides messages, or kind of being led more on that spiritual or higher energy path, as opposed to the Saturn, which is more third dimensional. I'm not saying it's negative or less than, but it's definitely more of an earthly path, more of a practical path, and more of an old school, old idea kind of conservative path. So this is what I feel like when I look at Archangel Metatron with the chariot of the 2 horses, is that the dark horse is Saturn, that wants to go one way, and the white horse is Neptune, which wants to go the other way. And so you can't really move forward in a chariot when the 2 horses are trying to go in different directions. So it's going to be important to really choose what direction do you want to go in this week. And I feel like Saturn has some good things to offer as far as learning particular lessons. Saturn teaches us particular lessons. But a lot of times Saturn will teach us those lessons so that we will choose that lighter and brighter spiritual path to go down. So that's what I feel when I look at this card. All right, so let's take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. So here's our life purpose cards. We're going to call in the angels and archangels and ask them to give us appropriate messages depending on where you're at on your path. And this one is kind of calling nope, too many cards want to come out. Whenever you see a card and you think that's it and you try to pull on it and a bunch of cards want to come, then it's not necessarily it. So this card for the sphere people. Okay, energy healing is your message, and it says, your natural energy healing abilities are an important part of your life purpose. Now, this could be very literal to where some of you have been maybe thinking about taking a class, taking a workshop, reading up on information about energy healing work or an alternative healing modality. So this is confirmation that this is what perhaps you need to do or the direction that you need to go in. I also feel like there's a lot of you out there that are being asked to seek out some energy healing work. Perhaps there's so much going on that you're not grounded and you're overly anxious or you're overly confused. A lot of times when we're, very overly confused and anxious, we're, again, not grounded enough to make a very clear decision. And so the only way we can make an appropriate, clear decision for ourselves in our lives, in different situations in our lives, is to make sure that we're balanced. And the best way to get balanced is seek out someone, whether it's massage or Reiki or reflexology or whatever healing modality you're drawn to. I really feel like this is really going to benefit you at this time. And maybe you actually practice Reiki already and you can do it on yourself. So it will be just a reminder to do that self-healing work as well. Let me see if there's anything else that comes to me. When I look at this, I also feel like they're saying meditation is the best healing medicine. So definitely you want to make sure you're taking time for yourself every day, even if it's for 5 minutes, to do that meditative work. That's going to help to align your chakras, align your energy bodies, open up your heart chakra to kind of bring in that sense of peace and compassion and unconditional love for yourself and for others as well. All right, so we'll put that down here. And then for those of you that chose the pyramid crystal, let's give these a shuffle. So asking for a message for the pyramid people. Okay, I'm looking and this one is popping out. Okay, this says builder. Okay, and this says at the bottom, your innate ability to build and create brings you a deep sense of accomplishment. Okay, right away when I said that, they were showing me Saturn square Neptune, and they were saying, remember, just because it's a square or challenging aspect doesn't mean it's all negative. Both of these planets have their positives and not so positives, and the aspect of it being in a square, Saturn square Neptune, right away gives us this kind of indication that it's a negative. But really, I feel like Saturn, that groundedness energy of Saturn brings form and structure and stability. And Neptune provides this creative, kind of artistic and spiritual energy. So I feel like if you combine those this week, for those of you that chose the pyramid, they're saying that you are here to use that energy to really build something through your creative, spiritual visualization. Like whatever you can create in your mind, you can create and bring into manifestation in reality. And you are here to build something. So now this doesn't mean literally like you're building a dresser or, building something like that, although it could be. But I'm saying that as far as like your career path, your life path, your destiny path, where you see yourself going, how you see yourself sharing your energy out there with the world, that you are creating with Neptune and manifesting through Saturn, and you're building something. You're building something that's going to be manifested into reality. So keep moving on that energy and do some visualization work. Let me see if there's anything else I can see with this. Okay, I feel like they're saying that this is kind of looking off into the future a little bit, and although we practice being in the present moment, as you can see, this angel kind of has his hand to his head here, like he's looking off into the distance. And this again is like looking off into the distance. Be patient with yourself as you're building something. When we build in our minds, obviously when we do visualization, it's much quicker. A lot of times here on this planet, because it's a lower dimensional reality, it takes a little bit of time. So don't give up, be patient with yourself, and just keep moving forward. You're moving towards something that's off in the distance here. All right, and then for those of you that chose the cluster, okay, cluster people, this one is really drawing my attention. Cluster people, it says time to decide. The message says, make a decision based on your heart's true desires, okay? So again, a lot of us are at a crossroads, but especially for you, the indication here is to not make a decision based on Saturn-based reality, but make a decision based on what feels right to you, what you're passionate about, what your heart is longing to do, what your heart is calling you to do. Go with the Neptunian energy here, that spiritual energy, and make that decision based on your highest spiritual truth, okay? Let me see what else I can see here as I look at this. I feel like you're surrounded by a lot of potential opportunities, not just this week, but going into the next 4 to 6 weeks. I feel like there's a lot of blessings around you and a lot of potential opportunities that are coming in. So be open to those opportunities. Be open to those blessings from the universe. And, grasp them when you see them. Jump on them when you see them. And see how they unfold in your life. It doesn't mean that every single potential opportunity that comes in is going to be the right opportunity for you or is going to manifest. But it's like all of creation is like open to you right now. It's like this is I don't know how to say, it's like this beautiful spiritual energy all around you, and it's like the snowflakes of magic falling down, or the rain of blessings falling down around you. And allow these opportunities to come in, and then grasp them when you see them. Okay. I hope you've liked this weekly angel card reading. I want to say that if you do like this video, please like and comment and share and subscribe to this channel. Check out the other videos. The monthly video for September is up. You'll want to make sure to look at that, as it describes the whole month of September and some of these huge transitional energies we have going on. So with that, I send you all much love and light and many, many angel blessings.